Hey Eva, how you doing?
Hi, I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Hey, you're very welcome. It's been a long time. It's good to see your face. So how is Dubai?
Uh, Perfect. Right now it's getting really hot. We hadn't had rain the whole year except for just now. So it's finally rained a few weeks ago, but then the temperature started rising and it's already just too hot to be outside. So,
Yeah. I remember that time where it's hot and humid. Well,
yeah,
awesome. So we met in Dubai many years ago, and you are awesome. Like I'm always seeing your travels around the world because you work for Emirates, right?
that's right. Yes.
So your
Uh, I've
job
been
is,
with
oh, go ahead.
I've been with them for about 6 years, and still going.
That's awesome. So your job is literally to fly around the world and take care of people along the way.
Yep, that's right.
That's great. Well, tell me really quick, Eva, where did you grow up and how has that shaped who you are today?
Well, I grew up in both Bulgaria and Cyprus, kind of like equally in both. Something which is quite funny about that is that the Greek word for yes is the same as the Bulgarian word for no, which is ne. So me and my sister growing up would ask our parents anything if we could go out, if we could do something, and even if they said no, we would still go ahead and do that and just assume that they're speaking Greek. So
Because
it
you
was very confusing in our family when you would say no. You weren't sure if they were saying no or yes.
that's funny. So they speak Greek in Cyprus?
That's right. They speak Greek in Cyprus
Oh,
and Bulgarian in Bulgaria.
that's awesome. So where were you born?
I was born in Bulgaria and then shortly after moved to Cyprus when I was quite young. So we had to move back and forth a few times.
Yeah. Okay. And Cyprus, tell me a little bit about Cyprus because that's
Well,
Mediterranean, right?
yes, it's a really little gorgeous island. Life is very slow paced back there, which I really love. It can be very different than the rest of Europe for that reason. I think it can be comparable to Greece, the pace of life.
Mhm.
But I just love going there every time I've been around, even here in Dubai. When I go to Cyprus, I tend to just relax and see how people take it so slow.
Mhm.
And I'm really inspired by that. We're so used to rushing all the time, even when you go to a coffee shop or anywhere that you're wanting to grab something quickly and go, like a takeaway. You can't tell them to rush, and they love to take it slow. And I love that.
That's great. So I love this story about nay, meaning yes or no. So that's great as a kid. But what's a childhood memory or tradition that still influences you today?
Um, well, I've had several memories growing up that really shaped me, but one of them that I really remember is having breakfast with my grandpa, who was very strict. He was obviously had been brought up in the times where Bulgaria was a communist country, so he was very like a stern, serious person. And I have a memory of him making us probably the worst breakfast of my whole life that I've ever had, and just locking us in the kitchen, and he wouldn't let us out until we finished it. And I just remember then having this like core memory of like, I want to have good food when I grow up. I don't want to have this horrible stuff. I want to make sure and put time and effort in making my own food, making sure that it's good and that it's worth eating.
Yeah,
So I became I like a really large supporter of anything cuisine related, like a foodie, a true foodie since then. And that was the start of it.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks to your grandpa for enjoying good food now, right?
Exactly. He has apologized several times after that for making the worst breakfast. And it really was just bread. It's a dish that they have in Bulgaria. I think it probably originated during communist times when people were very, very poor. It's
Hmm.
just bread with tap water on top of that, like
Oh,
lukewarm,
wow.
uh, and a spoonful of sugar. That's it. It's
Yeah.
really, really gross.
It does. That sounds horrible.
Yeah.
Well, now we've known each other for many years now. Has there been a project from that time or a moment that challenged you but ended up being very rewarding?
Yeah, for sure. Growing up, I was quite adventurous, and around the time that I was 17 years old, I did it was like a hiking, camping weekend with my friends, and we decided to go cliff jumping. That was a really bad idea. It was already getting dark, and the cliffs were quite high. You couldn't see exactly where the water is, if there's any rocks there. But we all decided to go for it anyways. Someone had to jump first from all of us, and even though we had many guys in the group, they were scared. So I said, "Okay, I'll do it. I'll go. I'll jump first." So I jumped, and unfortunately, I got really, really badly injured. I broke my spine,
Oh my goodness.
and I ended up like I swam out of the water. Obviously, the adrenaline was really high, but I couldn't feel my legs. So I managed to swim out with my hands, and after several minutes, when the adrenaline wore out, it was like the most excruciating pain I've ever felt, just along your whole body. And that was really, really hard to recover from. I ended up spending several weeks in hospital, couldn't leave the bed at all. I had a full brace around my whole yeah, like spine. I ended up looking like R2D2 walking around. It was just this whole metal yeah, brace. And in that hospital, I had several moments where I tried to think like, what do I want from my life? And it was a real life-changing experience, if I would say that.
That's tough. I would rather have the lukewarm tap water on the bread with some sugar than breaking my spine. But that's awesome. You turn the lemon into lemonade. And I think that's a big part of probably who you are now. Maybe less jumping in off the cliff first, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Let someone else do it first.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I want to know more about Cyprus and Bulgaria, but what's something unique about your culture that you're very proud of?
I would definitely say that they focus a lot on keeping the home a very special place, like a very welcoming environment. So they really take a great care to keep it clean. And that's unique because a lot of people dread housework in other places that I've lived. They tend to have apps and call a maid to do that for them. But in Bulgaria and also in Cyprus, the home is a place that you really take care of. It's not someone else that does it for you. You have to do it yourself. Uh, it's just it's just considered really sloppy if you have other people do that for you. And
Yeah.
I think growing up, seeing that as well, we had cleaning days throughout the week where my mom would set that day off for us to just take care of every room in the house. And I dreaded it, but it really taught me to enjoy the chores and to make the home a sanctuary. And now that I've traveled so much, I always end up coming back home, of course. And even though we stay in all of these really amazing hotels and places that I've been to, I always long for coming home at the end of the day, a place that I really belong in. And it's great. I love that.
That's wonderful. So you're based in Dubai and you don't how far in advance do you know where in the world you're going for work?
We usually know about a month in advance, so it's a little bit of time to prepare.
Uh-huh. Do you get your choice as you have seniority?
We get very little of our choice that we ask for, but occasionally we get really lucky. Most of the time we don't. And of course, there are destinations where everybody wants to go, so those are really, really hard to get.
Yeah, yeah. What's been your favorite place to travel? Because I feel like you've been everywhere.
Yeah, so I mean, I get asked this question a lot, and I never had one single answer for it.
Mhm.
I feel like the more I travel, the harder it becomes to find a single answer.
Yeah.
It's really like asking a mother what is her favorite child. But I can tell you my top three favorites.
Okay, perfect.
Um,
Top three kids.
yes, top three kids. Definitely, I would say Japan because first of all, being a huge foodie and having appreciation for good food, Japan is a place with the most Michelin restaurants, star Michelin star restaurants in the
Yeah.
world, and there are just so many simple places. Good food doesn't have to be expensive.
Yeah.
It has to be prepared well. It has to be good, and they have so much of that, which I love. The nature is beautiful, and I really love that. I would say my second top favorite is New Zealand. I just love the landscapes, and how remote it is from everything else in the world. Just a beautiful place overall. And finally, maybe that's not so common, but that's really a personal opinion. But I really love Scotland and the Highlands. It's very unique, and I have a personal like fascination for it. So that's definitely my top three.
That's awesome. My youngest, his name's Scott, and he wants to go to Scotland because he feels like that's his country. He's got some Scottish in him as well. So well,
Wow, that's so cool.
that's great. That's a good explanation, those top three. Now, what's something going back to your home? What's like a local dish that everybody needs to try aside from your grandpa's cooking? What's something that everyone needs to try from Cyprus or Bulgaria?
Um, so definitely aside from my grandpa's cooking, I would say a really great thing that is actually shared between both Cyprus and Bulgaria because they do share quite similar cuisine is a spinach pie. It's called spanakopita.
Hmm.
So it's a filo pastry kind of yeah, it's a pie that's made with spinach and usually feta cheese. But
Mhm.
it is really a great way to eat a ton of spinach and still enjoy it.
I like it. Um, yeah, we try, my wife and I will try and like put spinach or kale and stuff like that. And like if we ever make a smoothie for for our boys, so just sneak it in there.
Oh yeah. That's really good too. Yeah.
What's something about your country or culture that you wish more people understood?
Well, to be honest, a lot of people make fun of Bulgarians for not smiling a lot. I think it does happen as well in Cyprus. People tend to look quite grumpy, but they're not really grumpy. It's just that they don't like to display their emotions. And I've struggled with that because a lot of cultures it is very common to smile even though you don't feel like smiling. It's kind of forced, which I understand. It's very important for the culture that I'm in, the service delivery culture, the hospitality industry. But I do think at the end of the day, we are all human, and it's important to acknowledge that we're not feeling always 100% every single day.
Mhm.
So if someone is not smiling, like you're a barista, or if you go somewhere where you're ordering something and they're not smiling, people tend to take it very personal, but truly we shouldn't. So I've learned to, yeah, to just understand that it's okay to not be smiling all the time, and that it's okay for other people, especially workers who have gone through very long days, to not always provide the best service. So I've
Sure.
been learned to be very patient with other like waiters and anyone who works long time for that reason. They have to really put like a facade every time they go to work, just to keep up with the people who really want and expect them to be smiling all the time.
Sure, sure. And I bet you get that a lot too with like Emirates.
Yeah,
Best
that's
airline
right.
in the world. Shout out to Emirates. I love flying Emirates, but those are some long flights. Like LA to Dubai is 15 hours, and like you can't be smiling that whole time. That's for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that the longest flight from Emirates, or do they have a longer one?
The longest currently, it always has been Dubai to Auckland.
Hmm.
Depending on the timing, sometimes Dubai, Miami can also get similar timing, so 15 and a half, 16. But Auckland tends to be usually 17 hours.
Wow.
So that is 17 hours you're stuck with these people in a tin can. So it can be very challenging because whatever problems you take on with you, you carry them for 17 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're probably pretty good at spotting like, ooh, this section, this area could be an issue, or these. Anyway, I won't go into
Yeah.
like, but yeah, I'm sure you're very good at reading people now,
Oh
interacting with
yeah,
them
for
for so
sure.
long, which is a good life skill, that's for sure. But let me ask this: who's been a major influence in your life and why?
I would definitely say that I've had several inspirations throughout the course of my life. Um, Most of them tend to be religious figures that I really admire a lot. Um, but I do think that most inspirational people are those that you have closest contact with. It's not some celebrities that um, you're crazy, but someone that really influences you. So I would say, uh, I know it's a cheesy answer, but I would really say my parents have had the greatest influence. They have been uh, really great, supportive people throughout my life. They've always cheered on for everything I've done. And yeah, I'm really grateful for that.
That's great. And are they back in Cyprus right now?
Yeah, they're currently in Cyprus. I try to get to see them, even though I have a very busy schedule. I try to go at least every 2 months to spend
Oh,
more time.
good for you. And can you just jump on any like standby any flight?
Yeah, that's right. We have great standby privileges, so we can go whenever there are seats, we go, and it's a very, very cheap ticket. It's not free, but we get to enjoy really special fare.
I would love that. That's great. Um, if you could go back 10 years and give yourself some advice, what would it be?
Well, I've thought this I've thought about this a lot. I've regretted a few things in my life, but nothing truly hurt as bad as regretting the things I wish I had done but didn't do. So the mistakes I have made didn't hurt as much. I don't feel like I regret them as much,
Mhm.
but I've always regretted the things that I really wanted to do, but for some reason I didn't.
Mhm.
So if something comes to you and it's a good decision, it's not going to hurt other people. It's overall a good decision. I've taught myself that I should really, really go after it. So, for example, tell people how you truly feel about them. Don't hold back. Anything that you set your mind on, go for it because you really might regret not doing that after many years.
Yeah, I really like that. That's good. So you feel like that's helped you be more brave and just like going for it since thinking about that?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. If someone tells you to jump off that cliff, do it. I still don't regret my decision. So
Yeah.
it's very controversial, but I really have this motto in life that I've always followed, and that you must try everything twice. You're
Mm.
not gonna like it maybe the first time or the second time. If it's something that obviously isn't hurting you or isn't hurting other people, it's worth giving it a try. We should be exposed to as many experiences and, of course, in the food world, as many things like foods that we can try as we can in order to decide what we really like.
hmm Oh, that's good. Have you been cliff jumping since your injury?
Yeah, interestingly, yes. For a while, I was a little bit scared, but then I decided I've already done it once. I'm not even sure if I'll like it again. Let's do it again. So it was great. It was successful.
Good, good. What's something unique or funny about you that most people don't know about?
Oh, this is really funny. But I really hate movies with talking animals. And this has always been the case since I was a kid. But I could not stand all the Disney movies. I just couldn't watch them. I think that it's the cutest part about animals that they don't talk. So when you add the talking aspect to them, I just find it really irritating. So I could never watch that.
Yeah,
And it that limits so much of the movies that are actually out there, you know. So many of them that are made for kids and kid audiences are movies with talking animals, and I can't stand them. It's so
yeah,
sad.
that's funny. What about like Aladdin? Because is it the monkey Abu? He talks, but it's like mumbling, so it's not really talking. Does that count?
Yeah, some of them are acceptable. Like this one, maybe I would have been okay with. It's also okay if the animals are like alien, so they're not really, really animals.
Yeah,
They're not real. But if they're real animals like a dog or a horse or anything else and they're talking, like I'm not coming to the cinema. Forget about me. Don't invite me. So all of my friends know this and they've tried to accommodate it.
that's awesome. I'm gonna be thinking of you the next time I see a movie with a talking animal.
Oh yeah.
What's one thing that you're extremely grateful for right now?
I'm very grateful for my health, honestly. This year has been a huge wake-up call for me that we should really take care of our health a lot. Like we shouldn't take it for granted. Especially with this profession, it's very demanding on the body. Mentally, but even more so physically. I don't know if you're aware, but one flight that crosses the North Pole, is equivalent to two chest X-rays.
Wow.
So that's the amount of radiation that we get each way when we go to most flights to the United States departing from Dubai across the North Pole. So that's all the West Coast flights. Um, yeah, those flights are really, really bad for us. So we get sometimes we get two of those a month. That's in our limitations. So it's not legally allowed for us to get more than that. There are of course limitations. So that's good for us, but still that's four chest X-rays every month. That
Ooh,
is too much.
that's a lot. Had no idea.
Yeah.
I've done that. I don't know how many West Coast to Dubai flights I've had, but it's gotta be at least 25. And that was the first
Yeah,
time we
that's
did it, I was like, what are we doing? Like we were going over the North Pole. I'm like, how's this possible? And then for the first time, I'm like, well, the Earth's round and that's the shortest path right over the North Pole. That's crazy.
yeah, it's insane. I took an interest once in bringing my Geiger meter on board the aircraft with me just to check. And when we were flying on exactly through the pole, I actually took it out and turned it on and checked the levels of radiation. And wow, it was actually really high. I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting much less. So it was showing about 520 CPM. So for those obviously knowing the levels of radiation that this is, it's incredibly high. So I wish I never checked, honestly
Yeah.
speaking.
You,
I wish I never checked because it's been bothering me ever since.
yeah, well, you're the only person I know that has the Geiger meter measuring that. That's cool. But yeah, scary too.
Yeah.
Well, Eva, this has been so awesome. I really appreciate your time. To end though, a couple quick fun questions. Do you prefer, if you have to retire, is it going to be in the mountains or the beach?
I would definitely say mountains, just anything to escape from crowds.
Okay. All right, good. Do they have mountains in Cyprus?
They do actually. Yeah, they're not very tall, but they're very beautiful. And we have some forests, so there's plenty of that.
Who has better mountains, Cyprus or Bulgaria?
Definitely Bulgaria. We have snow even and beautiful wildflowers, lakes. So,
I need to get to that part of Europe. That's what 4 hour flight from Dubai, or is it further?
Yeah, yeah, 4 hour flight. It's a great place to explore, incredibly cheap, so you don't need any savings.
Okay, perfect. Well, I need to go, and I'll ask you for some do's and don'ts. Okay, what's a book or a movie that you recommend to everybody?
Okay, so I thought about this a little bit, and I think that one of my favorite movies that has really shaped the way I think, it's actually a very controversial movie, and I definitely don't recommend it to younger audiences. It's PG-13 and above. I think I can't remember the exact rating, but there are some scenes which are a little bit inappropriate, kind of offensive. So I don't recommend it for younger people, but it's definitely a movie that people should watch. It's called Dogtooth, and it is a Greek movie. It's by a very famous Greek director. He's made a couple movies since that have really been quite famous.
Hmm.
But it is interesting for a reason that it serves like a cautionary tale about letting the established order around you remain unchallenged,
Hmm.
whether that could be a government, a religion, or whatever
Hmm.
society or way of life that one might have been taught about. It is about parents who decide to keep their children completely without any influence from the outside world. So
Hmm.
they lock them in this beautiful estate, a mansion, and they don't let them have any kind of information from the outside. They shut out all exterior influence.
Wow.
And so for me, it relates to the concept of Adam and Eve a lot. Like if they had never left the Garden of Eden,
Yeah.
they would have never experienced other things. And I find that very interesting.
Good comparison. So Dogtooth. I've
Dogtooth, yeah. It's
heard
the
of that.
perfect movie to learn why we should be exposed to as many things as we can in order to make decisions for ourselves. I really like it.
I like that. Well, cool. Well, how can people connect with you or find you?
I would definitely say, yeah, my social media, my Instagram is probably a good place where I share a lot of stories from my travels.
Cool. Yeah, those are awesome too. So I will put that in the show notes to connect with you on Instagram.
Perfect.
Cool. Well, Eva, we'll have to do this again. Tell everybody in Dubai hello for me, and you have a good day.
Thank you so much.
Nice to see you.
Likewise.